And when we blow, ain't no told you so's. I'm a big ghost. I'm a big ghost. We hold the gold. I be super bullish like the bearable bull. My lifeboat full, ready for the big boom. Astronaut suit, headed for the moon. With my Hodo gang crew, had the 2020 vision, yeah we all knew. Now we pulling up in something brand new. New house on the avenue, beach house and cabin too. Normally I don't flex, but I had to go all out. You said it couldn't happen, now we floating through the clouds. You see us popping off, you be like, holy cow. I missed the showdown, ain't no getting in now. Shooting past the moon plow. Welcome all the kings and the queens to the new town. And we all loud, party last all year round. XRP hold us down, and we got the new crown. So you bow down, we hold the gold. And when we blow, ain't no told you so's. I'm a big ghost. I'm a big ghost. We renegade, we hold the change. The phoenix gonna reign, can't change our ways. To the end of days. To the end of days. Chillin' on a boat with a rum and coke. Or I be on an island, shining like a diamond. XRP got extras, cruising in a Tesla. I told you like professors, it's chess not checkers. You folded under pressure, but pressure make diamonds. Now you see me flying, and Bitcoin dying. You didn't hear the siren, we taking off, we skying. I bought more, I'm buying. I'm talking about that tiger, I'm talking about that lion. That XRP giant, you didn't buy, you crying. I'm sorry, no, I'm lying. Bags full, no denying. Bags full, no denying. We hold the gold, and when we blow, ain't no told you so's. I'm a big ghost. I'm a big ghost. We renegades, we hold the change. The phoenix gonna reign, can't change our ways. To the end of days. To the end of days.
welcome to Ripple's Q1 All Hands. This is obviously a first in doing it all virtually, but this has kind of already started to play out. The S&P 500 year to date is down about 10%. Gold is up about 12%. The total crypto market is up more than 25%. You're seeing Bitcoin has led that rally, but I also think you're going to continue to see dynamics which are good for, as you've heard me say before, if it's good for crypto, it's good for Ripple.
Talking about a digital dollar, which Bill Foster and I have really supported the concept of since we've written the Fed and the IMF about this. But you're creating a government digital dollar, but you're allowing other people to use it and set up payment rails. You're not proposing to centralize that digital dollar at a Fed-only distribution network. Is that right?
That's correct. So it would be distributed.
Tell us a little bit more about that.
Yeah, so it would be distributed through the existing two-tier banking system. It would be created by the Federal Reserve, distributed through commercial banks and other entrants that would be subject to an appropriate level of regulation against reserves that would be posted by banks to the Federal Reserve in the same way the dollar is distributed now. And then the distribution ledger that would be created would be able to be written to at the point of utilization. So that could be at bank use or perhaps even at the wallet use. But with the AML KYC provided subject to appropriate standards, and it may be that's provided by wallet providers, by existing financial solution providers or others. But it would be a widely distributed, but not a totally decentralized system. It would be distributed through regulated actors in the marketplace.
We clearly are seeing the lockdown, the kind of shelter-in-place dynamics have a big impact on cash-first remittance companies. So if you're unable to go to a physical store, then obviously you should expect that to go down. We've also seen significant increases in digital first players. I think various public companies have shared decreases of 30 to 40% in their cash-centric business, but we've seen increases of 80 to 100% in those that are kind of digital first, and that obviously has been very good. Now, I'll be clear, I don't think cash services are going to go away tomorrow. we saw in 2008, there really was a first wave of correspondent banks changing they limited access to money transmitters and remittance providers, resulted in slower, more expensive payments in some of the traditional networks. But it definitely sparked a big boom in digital remittances. And I think what we will see happen now is banks are going to reassess the cost of being in some of these markets where the overhead, both in terms of cost of capital, but also the overhead in terms of compliance costs. And I think they'll reassess that and decide what they want to change.
Overnight, Facebook could drop 2 billion wallets on the world in their crypto world. And so that ability, the size of Facebook, Instagram, WhatsApp, those are 3 platforms with over 1 billion users each. The notion that they can do something with crypto and something that size, and with sort of the skill that they have internally in programming around that, I'm not going to count them out. The decentralization of Facebook, I'm starting to think of decentralization just generally more in terms of decentralization on a scale of how there isn't something that's 100% decentralized, and there are things that are probably not decentralized at all. But on the continuum of decentralization, projects like Ethereum, XRP, Bitcoin, are much more decentralized than Libra appears to be, and that's sort of something that the entire industry is going to wrestle with while Libra figures that out.
I think the value proposition of on-demand liquidity, as I was just describing, or as we call it, ODL, only increases. This is a quote from one of our current customers, describing ODL as a lifeline, given their own liquidity dynamics. The other thing that's been interesting to watch as we went through some of the volatility over the last handful of weeks is you saw in mid-March some really dramatic volatility in the Philippine peso, where actually some of our customers, the only way they were able to get liquidity into and out of the Philippines was through ODL. It's certainly not lost upon me that, and I don't think, frankly, many people in the crypto community, that the majority of the Bitcoin mining power is in China. And particularly when we see the dynamics going on in the COVID world we're living in, those dynamics are only going to get more accentuated, I think, during the balance of 2020. And I think it's important for really the globe to understand that Bitcoin mining power today is controlled in China, and what are the implications of that as we look at, many governments around the world taking a very strong stance about Huawei and the build out of 5G mobile networks. So it'll be interesting to see how that plays out. I do think a priority for us throughout Q2 and really the balance of 2020 will be to continue to push to get more clarity, frankly, not just for XRP and all of the participants in the XRP ecosystem, but really for crypto more broadly.